Secretary Yellen argued that the ending the life of an unborn child is a good thing for the labor force participation rate. Since I'm very aware of the founder of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, I find the parroting of her manifesto by Secretary Yellen, the evaluation of life of an unborn, poor Black and minority children, as very concerning. I've also been aware of Sanger's 1946 book, The Negro Project, in which she shared her vision of poor Blacks and other minorities. And I quote, the gradual suppression, elimination, and eventual extinction of a defective stock, those human weeds which threaten the blooming of the finest flowers of American civilization, unquote. She was a favorite, by the way, of the white supremacist KKK speaking circuit, where she set up her first abortion shops, testifies to her mission. It was in Black Harlem in 1921. These are the words of a rabid racist founder of Planned Parenthood. There's a multi-billion-dollar global abortion cartel and has been responsible for the deaths, and that's going to be our legacy, the deaths of tens of millions of Black babies and other children. Thank goodness Senator Tim Scott, upon hearing this statement by Secretary Yellen, called it out for what it was: biased, callous, and calculated. I agree with my friend Senator Scott, who learned from his single mother that there's dignity in all work and dignity in all life. An op-ed published in yesterday's Washington Post, Senator Scott wrote, and I quote, "We live in a world where words are too often disconnected from the lived experience of many Americans." Yellen's cold and robotic reference to the issue of life is just the latest example of that, end quote. Secretary Yellen's comments is also deeply offensive to me. For years, the Black community has been disproportionately targeted by the abortionist industry. I've watched it happen. We've lost over 20 million Black babies over the last 40 years. That's 40% of my race exterminated before given a chance to bless our nation with their innate talents. Based on her conclusion, their demise is a good thing for our labor force participation rate. Secretary Yellen has obviously concluded that these 20 million Black lives would have been an economic drain on our society. A 2017 report by the Life Issues Institute found out that 88% of Planned Parenthood mega centers target women of color, with 80% specifically targeting Black communities and 56% targeting Hispanic and Latino communities. For those who love the concept of equity in everything under the sun, including test score outcomes, when it comes to the death of unborn, the abortion equity seems to be pretty racist to me. Abortion is not health care. Healthcare doesn't result in the intentional death of over 60 million human beings. It undermines the dignity and worth of every individual in their God-given right to life. If a woman feels that abortion is her only and best option, I believe that woman has been failed by her family, her partner, her community, and her healthcare providers. I'm the father of 6 children and 16 grandchildren. My pride comes from the joy of watching them grow and start families of their own, even if their circumstances are imperfect, or as Ms. Yellen would have us believe, an economic burden. I have 2 of my beautiful, loving, talented children born after my NFL career, after I lost everything due to a failed business, and after a brief job stint as a chimney sweep and a security guard. Thank goodness I was raised by a generation of proud Black Americans who taught me that America, our financial status does not define us and can be temporary. Our children and family relationships, on the other hand, are not only eternal, but an invaluable treasure during our brief time on this earth. They are the only legacy at the end of our lives that really matter. Our children are the most precious gifts and blessings from a loving God. The fight to defend life has never been more important. The fight to defend the founding ideals of our nation, that all people are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, has never been more important. I ask for unanimous consent to place Senator Scott Washington Times op-ed titled, "Abortion is Not the Way to Help Single Black Mothers," on the record. The last few seconds I have, Ms. Foster, do you have any comments that you would like to add to the record?
That brought me to tears. Amen to everything you just said. I would just say when it comes to helping mothers in difficult situations and living in poverty, go ask Planned Parenthood if they provide diapers or formula or a crib or rent assistance or food or bill assistance or counseling or mammograms or continuing education, and then compare that to what pregnancy care centers offer. And then come tell me that pro-lifers are the ones that don't care for children after they're born. Give me a break.
Thank you. The legacy of Sanger will be her death. That's what she'll be known for. Thank you so much for that.